Welcome everyone to today's Ninja Skill Booster, Prioritize Like a Ninja. This is our second Ninja Skill Booster for 2025. This will help with getting in our minds, our hearts, our souls, what's really important. A little phrase that's been coming up for me lately is quality, not quantity. Making sure we're doing quality work, doing what matters. Now, I would like to start by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the lands that we're all coming from today. I'm coming from the land of the Gurungai clan, the northern beaches of Sydney, and like to acknowledge the traditional custodians here and their elders, past, present, and emerging, and think about the many, many thousands of years of storytelling, training, education that's been taking place on all the lands that we're coming from today. If you'd like to share in the chat where you're coming from, please do. That would be lovely. It's lovely to see so many of you here today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us. I really hope you love today's session. For those of you that haven't met me, my name is Ninja Matt. Here are all my contact details. I'm going to put my email address in the chat for you as well. You're welcome to get in touch with me at any stage. I'm the founder of Think Productive Australia. I founded this organization here 10 years ago when I came across the work of Graham Alcott. Graham's from the UK, and he wrote this book, How to Be a Productivity Ninja. I came across Graham and this book 10 years ago when I was working in corporate, and it changed my world, changed my life, changed the way I worked. So in partnership with Graham and his organization, I founded the business here. And for 10 years, myself and my team here, including Ninja Julie and Ninja Gavin, who many of you would have met, we love what we do. And our passion is to help you enjoy your work. Our absolute dream and passion here is to give you the tools, give you the support that's going to help you love your work and therefore love your life. We're looking to achieve things like reducing overwhelm. That's a big one. Reducing stress. Today, we're really focusing on this. Understanding the overwhelm. Where does it come from? Prioritize like a ninja. I've got a fantastic tool for you today to support you with prioritization. So once again, welcome, and let's get into the content for you. We're going to look at overwhelm initially. What is overwhelm? Why does it happen? And how can we deal with it? Overwhelm is the thing that's preventing us from prioritizing clearly. Overwhelm is the thing that's preventing us from getting stuck into our work. So I am just keeping an eye on the chat as we go here. Feel free to put any comments there as we go. But let's have a look at overwhelm. What is overwhelm? Let's start by looking at what causes it, when does it strike. When getting this mindfulness around when it happens is really important. So I just want, as you know, in these sessions, we love to give you a moment to reflect before we get into the content. So I'd love you just to take a moment to think, when does overwhelm strike you? When does overwhelm come up for you? I'd love to see some comments in the chat. What causes overwhelm? When do you start feeling overwhelmed? Love to get some of your thoughts. I'll read them out for the recording. So I won't read out your names, but I'll just read out some of these comments. When I see over 20 emails unanswered, when I'm not sure where I need to put my energy, when I want to do everything in capital letters, yeah. Inbox is overflowing, too many things coming at me at once, when I feel like I have too much on my plate. Of an evening, when it's time to think, interesting. So yeah, it's happening. The pressures of modern day work, the pressures of modern day life are causing this. So nice to think about this. You're human. We're all in this together. There are things we can do to manage these situations. There are things we can do to support ourselves with these feelings of overwhelm. So what is it? It's a feeling of drowning, if you like. It's a feeling of being buried or drowning between a huge mass of something. It might be a huge mass of email, a huge mass of things coming at us, messages, ideas. It might be a huge mass of thoughts in our brain. So today, I'm hoping that with this understanding of what it is, we can learn how to manage it better. Now, this is a lot of words. I'll just give you a moment to have a read of this. and feel into this, like the cognitive impact of feeling perpetually overwhelmed, what it can do to us, how it can show up: mental slowness, forgetfulness, can't speak fullness, confusion, difficulty concentrating or thinking logically, a racing mind, all of these things. These are all the impacts, if you like, of, sorry, I'm moving my camera there. These are all the impacts, if you like, of overwhelm. Just let me get that camera sorted out. There we are, that's better. So when this happens, when we start feeling this overwhelm, our lizard brain kicks in. Many of you have heard me talk about the lizard brain. You've done our ninja training, you're aware of this. This is the stress response, our amygdala. When our amygdala fires up, when we're feeling overwhelmed, we go into our lizard brain reactions, and I'll talk about this in more detail shortly. This stress response, this amygdala hijack, it's affecting our ability to think. It's affecting our ability to prioritize. And today we're focusing on prioritization. So why does this happen? Why do we have this lizard brain reaction? Why does this lead to this sense of overwhelm? Because there's a lot going on. We're spinning plates. We get stuck in the doing. We get stuck in feeling like we've got to do the most urgent thing first. We get stuck in just so much coming at us that we don't take a moment to pause and reflect and prioritize, right? And that's what today's about, prioritizing. But we can't just prioritize if we're not pausing, stopping, reflecting. So this lizard brain again, this amygdala, when this amygdala, I want to put this word in the chat for you as well, this amygdala. When this amygdala fires up, we go into reptilian mode. We go into survival mode, fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. I'm just seeing a comment here. Anybody can't hear. Can you hear me okay? Can everyone put yes in the chat if you can hear me okay? Yeah, okay, Linda, it might just be on your end. Thanks, everyone. So when this amygdala fires up, we often freeze. We go into survival mode. We can't think clearly. Now we know why it's happening. We're overwhelmed with too much happening. You saw in the chat all these things that are overwhelming us. So it's a human reaction. One of the key things we can do is take time to slow down. If we're caught in the doing, we stay in this stress response. So let's talk about how to do it, how to deal with this overwhelm. This is what we're here to talk about today, to give you some tools. So I encourage you to take some notes, particularly in what I'm about to share. We are recording this and the recording will be shared. So we don't share the slides as such, Asim, but we will be sharing the recording. Okay. All right. Some people can't hear. Most of you can. Thanks everyone for your chats there. Those of you that can't hear, I'm just going to keep going. We are recording this. So yeah, you'll be able to watch the recording. I know you can't hear me, but anyway. How to deal with it like a ninja. Number one, the breath. Breathe. Take time to slow down and come back to your breath. Take time to let your brain recover. So we're going to do a breathing exercise now. So take a moment and close your eyes. Come to your breath. What we're doing here is helping us relax almost instantly. Bring your attention to your breath and focus on having a longer exhale. So a natural inhalation and a nice slow exhalation. Do it again. One more. This exhale is connecting us to our relaxation system. This is helping us slow down. This has been proven to reset an amygdala hijack. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, If you're feeling stressed, come to the breath. Thank you, Abby, for putting the comments in the chat there. I can see you're helping each other out. That's what our community is all about, right? This is our ninja family at work here, helping each other. Thank you. So this breath, someone described this to me recently as breathing out the stress or breathing out the overwhelm. This has been tested with people wired up to EEG machines, and they can see that with this extended exhalation, if you're in a quiet place, if you're in a private place, you can even sigh. Ah, it feels so good, right? So step one in dealing with this overwhelm, we're moving towards the prioritization tools, but we've got to start by thinking about the overwhelm. Step one, breathe. Step two, okay, there's a comment there to turn on the captions. Thank you. I will do that. Um, thanks, Natalie. Nice idea. If people can't hear. Step two, empty your mind. Now, for those of you that have done our productivity ninja training, you'll be very familiar with this slide. When we have a busy brain, this is leading to overwhelm. So step two, empty your mind. When we're storing a lot of information in our brain, we get very overwhelmed. We know we're going to forget things. This makes it harder to prioritize. How do we prioritize when there's all this noise going on in our brain? So the technique here to empty our brain is to do a brain dump. Doing a brain dump involves just writing it all down. Whatever comes up, personal things, work things, big things, little things, get it out of the brain. So I want to give you a minute here to do this. Grab a piece of paper. This is an activity from our full day workshop, our How to Be a Productivity Ninja workshop. But grab a piece of paper now. And for the next minute, just get everything out. Just write a list. Let's start it now. I'll talk a little bit as we go, but not much. But just write a list. Don't worry about the second bullet here about one thing per piece of paper. Just get it out. Anything that's on your brain. All the things you need to do. All the things you'd like to do. There's no prioritizing happening yet. It's just a brain dump. It's just get it out. Okay, I won't talk for the next 30 seconds to give you time to think. All right. Now, you didn't have long to do this. Keep going if you like for the next little while. But I just wanted to get you started. You can continue that activity after this session today. Continue that activity. Get it out of your brain. Now, a little word of warning, this can lead to more overwhelm initially because you see it all. And once you see what was in your brain on paper, it can be a bit overwhelming. Now, this seems quite straightforward, this technique. But the question to ask yourself if you're thinking, yeah, this seems quite basic, is do you do this? Do you give yourself the gift of 3, 4, 5 minutes to do this anytime during the day or the week? Now, if you are feeling this sense of overwhelm, it's okay. You know what to do. Use the breath. It's okay. I'm human. I'm feeling overwhelmed because there's a lot to do. Now we can move on to using this data to start planning, using this data to start thinking. So step 3 in this overwhelm recovery is do some boss thinking. Boss thinking is when we stop the work, we step back, we plan, we prioritize, right? So we're getting very close to the prioritization matrix here, the prioritization tool. In this boss thinking, one of the key techniques we think about is planning our day, using a checklist of some sort to get our day started. One of the key things on this checklist that we provide in our ninja workshops, one of the key things on this checklist is choosing 5 priorities. What are my 5 priorities for today? What are the 5 things that are going to make a difference today? If we do this, this gives us a destination, gives us a focus, gives us a goal. So to choose these 5 things, I want to share with you how to do this. Our prioritization matrix, so the magic sauce, the secret sauce for today's webinar, right? On this matrix, which we've developed, it's sourced from or inspired by the Eisenhower matrix of urgent versus important, but this is a little bit different. For me, this has a lot more clarity and gives us a lot more focus. What we're mapping on this matrix is the impact on the y-axis versus the effort. I prefer to think of it as impact versus importance, right? Impact versus effort. Now, when we think about how things sit on this matrix, I'm going to give you this as a downloadable, by the way. When we think about where things sit, the top right, high effort, high impact. These are our major goals and projects. These are the big things we're working on. And I'm going to come back to this and go through this again with even more detail, but I want to give you the overall picture first, right? So high effort, high impact. High effort, high impact, low effort. These are the quick wins. What a great place to start. High impact, low effort. These should be our highest priorities, where we get started, right? Once we start moving down on the impact scale, fill-ins, these are simple little tasks. They might be less than 2 minutes. They might be quick things. They're low impact, low effort. They might be some quick things we can tick off. I'm going to give you some more detail on this shortly. We want to be really careful with this lower right quadrant. High effort, low impact. These are things that are going to take a lot of time and not move the needle, not create an outcome for us. So we don't want to be doing these things. Okay. Can I just get you to put in the chat yes or hello or great if this is making sense so far? Just want to make sure, and I'm going to go through this again now with a lot more detail for you. Okay, beautiful. I am going to give you a downloadable version of this as well. Okay, let's go through this again, and each one will make a lot more sense. Major goals and projects, high effort, high impact, high value tasks. They don't have clear deadlines. They are going to move the needle, but they're often neglected because they take a lot of effort. The approach to these ones, set some deadlines and schedule some time to work on these. We have to work on these. These are important, but they're easy to forget. They're easy to put to the side because if you've done our procrastination training and the dust model, they're a bit more scary because they're bigger. But these things need effort. So schedule time to work on these. They are important. But quick wins is where we want to start. Do these first. High impact, low effort, high value tasks. Do these first. These could be our top 4 priorities, maybe out of those 5. If we can identify these, we know where to start. People often get so caught up in needing to prioritize the 30 things on their to-do list. So just pick 5. Pick the 5 quick wins. Get them done. You will get so much more progress made. The fill-ins. These are little tasks, less important, won't take as much effort. We can delegate these, we can decline them, or we can do them when we've got low energy. These are often like, we've got that afternoon slump. Let's get a few of the easy things done. Even though they're not huge impact, but just get a few of these off the list. But just be aware of these. We might want to spend half an hour on these. I'm going to set myself half an hour just to get some of these fill-ins done. Because just let's get these off the list. For many of us, that does reduce our stress, but just be careful not to spend all day here. And then the thankless tasks. These are the ones that we want to delete, delegate, or just defer. Most importantly, I would say delete them. Eliminate them if we can. You might need to have some conversations with people in your team, your colleagues, your boss, the people who report to you, whatever it is, the people who your stakeholders, and say, you know what, this task's not worth doing. This task is going to take me so much time and the impact is negligible. There's more important things to be working on. All right, I'm just looking at one of the comments in the chat here. Thank you, Alex. I hope I've helped you there with the thankless tasks. Yes. Hope I've helped you. Okay, I'm going to give you a link to download this at the end. Okay, so you'll get this. I hope that helped. That's the secret sauce for today. One bonus tip for you. One bonus tip when it comes to prioritization, how to be a ninja, how to get the most out of everything in your work and your life. Have some fun. Make sure that everything in life is not bogged down with being too serious. Many of you have heard me talk about The Happiness Advantage, the book by Sean Achor. If we have some fun, the next thing we do, we get a better result. That's the research from Harvard. Have some fun, get better results. This comes into our ninja characteristic of unorthodoxy. So the key thing here is deciding what makes you feel good. What lifts your mood? Think about different activities. It's really important to think, okay, even if I don't have time for this fun today, I know I've got something coming up on the weekend or something I'm looking forward to. So schedule something fun. So this bonus tip number 4 to help us with the overwhelm, make sure that you're getting some time for yourself, some time to have some fun for yourself. Now, these sessions are quite short because we don't want to chew up too much of your time. I want to give you a moment here just to think now before we start closing. What are you going to do next time overwhelm strikes? Think about those 4 tips. Think about the breath. Think about the brain dump, emptying your mind. Please put it in the chat. What are you going to do? What action are you going to take next time you're feeling overwhelmed? Or straight after this webinar, if you are still feeling overwhelmed. Put it in the chat for me. It's a good summary. Do some boss thinking. Have some fun. Breathe. Beautiful. Great comments here. Thank you. Walk away from my desk. Feel like getting it out of my head on paper will immediately help me feel more calm. Move away from the desk. Brain dump, then 5 things. If you brain dump and then 5 things, Heather, beautiful. Focus. We talk about the boss thinking and the worker mode, boss mode and worker mode. So once you've done that boss thinking, once you've done that planning, we flick the switch into worker mode and we get on with it. And you get on with it with total clarity. And Brene Brown says, clarity is kindness. Many of you know Graham's recently launched a new book called Kind. So we're on this whole kindness journey at the moment. Clarity is kindness. And I think about that as kindness to ourselves, self-care. So when we're thinking about all of the work we can do in this space, think about self-care. Think about giving yourself that kindness, that love. All right, in ninja news for you all. I'm just going to see if there's any questions. I don't think any specific questions have come up. Just a little quick bit of ninja news for you because you are our beautiful ninja family, even if you're joining us for the first time. This new workshop of ours, well, it was new in 2024. This is just rocketing. Microsoft for Productivity Ninjas. If you're struggling with Microsoft Teams, SharePoint, emails, Planner, get in touch with us and talk to us about our Microsoft for Productivity Ninjas workshop. It's rocketing. And a couple of new workshops, Thriving Teams in Tricky Times. Been a lot of popularity for this one as well. And one we haven't actually formally launched yet, but it's coming, Cracking the Engagement Puzzle. Here we take a new approach to motivation, a very unique and ninja-fied approach to how to motivate ourselves, how to motivate our teams, how to achieve that hard to grasp concept of employee engagement for ourselves and our teams. So some great news there for you. Get in touch if you'd like to talk about any of those. And we've also got a couple of public workshops coming up. Thank you for your comment there, Sandra. Thriving Teams is an awesome session. Thriving Teams is, there's some great, I'm so excited about these new workshops, in addition to our ongoing productivity work, of course. And upcoming, if you're not able to run these workshops in your organization or access them through your organization, we do run public workshops. We've got a lot planned for the year, but the next 2 are the Way of the Productivity Ninja, our 90-minute session on the foundational productivity skills, 11th of March. These are all via Zoom, so you can sign up and join from anywhere. And our Inbox to Zero workshop, if you want to stop your inbox controlling your life, you can sign up for our Inbox to Zero workshop. You can access these on our website. The public workshops menu is available there. Now, I do have a giveaway for you all. I'm going to stop the recording though, so we can do the giveaway. So I'm just going to stop the recording. If you're watching the recording, thank you for watching this. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please get in touch if you have any questions or want to talk about any of those workshops.